The name of my business is Beyond Words Productions. Can anyone guess who came up with that name? This is a second crown that said Rachel Jane. And no, I had my business before I met Rachel Jane. It was my mom. She said, knowing that I like to tell heartfelt and emotional video stories for people, if a picture says 1,000 words, my videos will leave people beyond words. So thank you, Mom. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a speaker, I have to be unforgettable. I have to be magnetic. I need people to listen to me, and I need them to say yes to me. As entrepreneurs, don't we all need that? We need to do that to scale our business, to attract clients, sponsors, donors, whatever it is you're looking for. And I truly believe that when you know your why, you know your way. And that is what we've been talking about this whole morning. Being vulnerable, being authentic, being visible so that the people who are looking for you can find you. So there's a lot of people in this room that probably aren't telling their story. How many of you think that it is scary to be vulnerable in front of a room full of people? Yes. Most of our hands should go up. It was scary for me too. I wasn't always this vulnerable and open with my story, and it took a long time. So I want to challenge you to not be afraid, because you either let go of the fear or you let go of the opportunity. And as entrepreneurs, we cannot afford to let go of those opportunities. So I'm going to talk about all these things, and I'm going to show you some stories that work. But as a storyteller, I would be remiss if I stood up here and didn't tell you a bit of my own. I grew up in a middle-class home in Sacramento, California, to an abusive father and a mother who was too complacent and afraid to ever leave. A lot of the habits that I developed in this household were very isolating. I needed to be small, I needed to be out of the way, and I needed to be invisible. And a lot of those habits that I developed as a child, they kept me safe as a child, but they kept me small as an adult. And especially as an entrepreneur, I cannot afford to be small, like, besides physically, right? I always knew I wanted to be seen. I just didn't know how. So I became a TV news reporter, where I was certainly seen. TV news took me to an ABC station in Iowa and a CBS station in Wisconsin, where I did TV news for 6 years, and I was definitely visible. But what I realized after a long time was that I was being seen for what I was and still not for who I was. So I left news, and a couple months later, I started Beyond Words Productions. This was in Wisconsin, where I left news, in order to tell my story in a way that I knew could make people visible, but also helping other business owners, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs to do the same. So if it's all right with you, I would like to show you a couple of those videos that I've done for businesses that lead with why and not what they do, and hopefully it will inspire you to do the same. Is that all right if I show you a couple of those videos? Perfect. So this first video that I'm going to show you is a video that I did for a construction company. And knowing that I do heartfelt, emotional storytelling, you're probably wondering, how is construction heartfelt and emotional? So I'm going to show you what we did, and then we'll talk about it after. But this is for a construction company in Wisconsin.
I love construction. I used to go in the Goodwill garbage can, dig out a bunch of old bikes, and I used to take them apart and put them together as a kid. So I've always loved using my hands and being part of things. I didn't have the best upbringing. I got into a lot of trouble as a young teenager in high school. From that, I went through a military academy and actually graduated high school early when I was on track to fail everything. So being a troubled youth and kind of coming out of the hardship of growing up around drugs, alcohol, abuse, when I got out of the military academy, I graduated and joined the Army, went through another boot camp. After I graduated boot camp, I went to Iraq. I was in Iraq for 6 months. I joined a battalion that was over there already. So when I came back from Iraq, I got in a car accident. My best friend passed away, and another innocent person lost their lives as well. I have a lot of remorse, guilt, and hardship, and I still think about it a lot to this day. I can't change the past. I can't change the mistake that I made. I can't make it right to the people that were impacted. But what I can do is continue to move forward and try and make an impact in other people's lives. I know there's a lot of kids. I know there's a lot of youth that might not have the best guidance growing up. And I want to show them with my story of going back in the past, looking at my mistakes and how you can overcome, and show them things so they don't make the same mistakes that I did. So that's very important to me. And going with Frontline, myself and my team, is you are contributing to empowering people. I like to put things together and solve problems and fix things. I want to be a resource for the community. I want to do good things for people. And so being part of the community is a huge part of that, because if you take care of the people around you, everything else will take care of itself.
Most construction companies that are putting videos out there are talking about, here's a special on windows, doors, siding, etc. And that just doesn't hit the way that this does. When you are putting videos out there that talk about what you do, you are cutting out a whole market. My videos market to human beings, because if you just tell me what you do, if I'm a homeowner, if I'm never going to own a home, or I don't currently own one, I don't care that you're advertising windows, doors, and siding and whatever. This markets to human beings because it leads with why. And so when you're thinking about your businesses and what you lead with to make people drawn to you, to make yourself more magnetic and more memorable, this is the route that I encourage people to do, because you cannot make a client out of everyone, but you can make an advocate out of anyone. How much would a story like this be worth to you? For him, the moment that he started sharing this in places, social media, website, but so many other places, $400,000 within a couple of months. Come up with a number of what this type of story could do for you and your business if you were able to be vulnerable in the way that he was, to share these powerful moments with people. This was not a story about construction. This was a story about second chances. And if you believe what I believe, then you will want to work with me. And every time I show this video in one of my presentations and workshops, I have so many people asking for his card, trying to give him business. Allow that type of receptivity to happen with you and yours. The second video that I'm going to show you was my favorite video that I've probably ever done, and not a single piece of professional equipment was used in this. This was a recorded Zoom call and pictures and videos taken from a cell phone. And this was done for a nonprofit that is called A Doll Like Me.
I am Amy Jandrisovitz, and I am the owner of A Doll Like Me. I make dolls for kids who don't see themselves on the store shelves. I started A Doll Like Me 10 years ago. The concept came when I was doing social work with kids in pediatric oncology. There were so many kids that weren't able to look into the face of a doll and see their own. They really do look at this as an extension of themselves.
Do you like it? Yeah. Let her hold it. Give her a hug. Aww.
I know what kind of power that has for a child, and I never would have imagined where it would be today. And I didn't realize how I would be able to advocate on a worldwide level for what inclusion and representation would look like for a child. Since becoming a nonprofit, no family has had to pay for their own dolls, and they have gone to 35 countries and all 50 states. I've made over 1,000 dolls, and I've never actually seen a child get one. But parents typically will send videos or pictures.
think about that doll? Hmm? You love it?
Who does that look like? It's Eli!
Yes.
Let me see. Can you turn him around so I can see?
Show Mama. Mama, look.
Does that look like you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool. That's so cool. Do you love him?
A doll, yes, please. Because everyone should have a doll that looks like they do. Yeah. A doll with a doll.
You had your pink top on, it'd be just like you.
Look at her hands, right?
Look at her hands.
We're just like yours. That's pretty.
Wow.
Wow.
Just wow.
I've made dolls for a number of kids who have passed on, and the family still use the doll as a reminder of the child. One family that sent a picture of their baby's doll on the grave. It shows you that this is more than just the doll to the kids and then to the families as well. I think that we all feel this desire to make a difference. In the bigger picture, these kids deserve to see themselves in the narrative all the time. They just don't. And we can think of a million reasons not to. You know, I'm too busy, I'm too old, I'm broke, I'm whatever it is. But these dolls and what's happened to them speaks to what happens when you say yes.
That's usually the story that gets people in tears. And this was a recorded Zoom call and cell phone pictures and videos. There are so many stories that we are sleeping on as entrepreneurs because we might be too close to the picture. We might be scared of putting it out there for people. This video has gotten her so many donations, partnerships, and sponsors because she led with why. She didn't say, I make dolls and I use sustainable materials and it's in Toys R Us or whatever. She didn't lead with what she did. She led with why it mattered and showing that impact. So I challenge you all to think of ways that you are making an impact in your business, and that message is not being captured in the world. You need to be so top of mind that people are right there to lean in and say yes to you, donate to you, work with you, refer you, because that's how we scale our businesses. That's how we bring in dollars, and that's how we make a bigger impact that I know all of us in this room want to make. And I had to learn that lesson twice. Remember earlier in my story where I said I started the business and I started telling the story and my business really took off. I had the house, the cars, the dogs, and business was going so well. But I was keeping a secret. While I was out in the world promoting peace, love, positivity, empathy, kindness, behind closed doors, I was experiencing everything but that. I finally understood why my mom never left. And I couldn't stand looking at myself in the mirror and seeing that decision take over the rest of my life. I couldn't settle for abuse for the opportunity of being loved. I knew my why, and that was not my way. So I made the decision to leave everything that I had built in Wisconsin. I lost my business, I lost my house, I lost everything. And I drove 2,000 miles back home to the very home that broke me. And I have been rebuilding in that home for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. And when I moved back, I had no idea how I was going to rebuild what I had spent so much time and energy on. So I would go to networking events, up to 5 a day, And I'm Jamie, I'm a videographer, and I do heartfelt and emotional storytelling for businesses and nonprofits. Hi, I'm Jamie. It was an introvert's worst nightmare. For 8 months, I did that and saw zero return on it. And then I said, duh, Jamie, tell your story. Tell people what brought you back here, the passion that reignites this storytelling, and why being vulnerable and sharing that story is not a flaw. It is what makes people want to work with you. It's what makes you magnetic and unforgettable. As soon as I started putting my story out in video and sharing it with the world, saying it in person, having the video work for me in places where I would never physically be, that last 4 months of last year, I still hit 6 figures. Incredible comeback. I had no idea what to expect when I started sharing my story, but I did, and I was like, let's see where this goes. I'm going to take a bit of my own advice and start doing what I'm telling other people to do and sharing my why. And it all came back to me. Can you be all in on sharing your story, letting go of the fear of putting yourself out there to be more magnetic and welcome the opportunities that come because of it? On the next slide, I'm going to invite you to a 30-minute call with me. It's free, and they're going to be passing around some flyers as well to each of you with the QR code, some of my information. Because here's how it works. We get on a call. I'm going to help you find your story. If you decide that this is something that you want to do to help scale and elevate your business, I tell your story. There are no scripts. There is no storyboarding. It's just me and you. I edit it. 2 weeks later, you have a video that you can use, and I will hand you a distribution list of all the ways that you can be seen and be unforgettable. It is beyond just posting on social media and your website. There are so many ways that you can use this, and I will hand you that distribution guide so that you can have the blueprint to what makes your story accessible. So here's that QR code. Oops. There it is. I'll give you guys a moment to scan and a moment for the folks here to pass that out. If you are afraid of sharing your story, you're afraid of being vulnerable, you're afraid of being on camera, I invite you to get on this 30-minute call with me so we can see what's possible for you, to make people say yes. And the fear of being on camera part is what makes most people not want to do it, because they don't know what to say, they don't like being on camera. It's very different than being here on stage, I'll tell you that. But I will assure you that because of my background in TV news, where I had to go to breaking news, chaos, and traumatic things happening, and I had to get victims of stories ready to be on camera live in a couple minutes or less. If I can do that with them in the midst of chaos and the hardest moments of their lives, I know that I can help you all tell your stories as well. If you know you're impacting people, but you aren't being seen, maybe you're being forgotten, I invite you to schedule this call with me. And if you have any questions, I have a table downstairs, and I'm happy to answer any lingering, burning questions that you might have. And the people that do decide to start their storytelling journey with me, I'm excited to create a video that will leave your clients beyond words. Thank you.